Erica and the fish back here with my goldies. Apologies, I know it has been so long. Uh, a lot has happened, and let's get into it. So, we got Mango April 20th, and then a month into that, these two start dropping eggs. And Monstro never dropped eggs. I had no idea what was going on. It took me a day and a half to figure it out, because Coco dropped them all over her tank. And it looked like these cotton fuzzy things, like everywhere. I was like, what the heck? And at the time, we have a cotton tree outside that drops these fuzzy things like snow right before summer. It's insane. But I was like, did that get inside? But no, I finally figured it out. And then I figured out Mango was dropping a few on her sponge filter. There were some of them stuck there, and I couldn't figure out what they were. I thought they were uneaten pellets, but they were actually a couple of eggs. So I started her on an Epsom salt bath, a low dosage, gallon of water, tablespoon of salt. But when I pushed on her belly, nothing came out. So I was like, okay, everything's fine. I'm gonna move her in. So they moved in on June 18th. But then her floatiness, because like she'll float nose down and just kind of hang out there frozen in space and she's asleep, it became more obvious because Coco actually started picking on her when she was like that. And so I started doing bigger Epsom salt baths. 3 gallons, 3 tablespoons of salt. I did it 3 days in a row, and I would squeeze her belly, and a whole bunch of eggs would pop out. And I was like, okay, so it's just eggs. Everything's okay. But we did that for 2 weeks, because I ended up moving her back 3 days after moving them in together, and putting her on Polyguard. And every time she got a new Polyguard dosage, every 3 days, I would do an Epsom salt bath while I dosed the tank for 30 minutes to an hour, squeeze her belly, and a whole bunch of eggs would pop out. And we did that for 2 weeks. And right near the end, Coco had a slime coat issue. It's like sometimes she gets this little white spot on her tail, and it would come and go. I would do aquarium salt baths for her. I would come and go way before Mango moved in. But after moving Mango out, it just got everywhere and was like all in the cracks between her scales, all in her wen. So they switched places. Coco started getting the Polyguard treatment, but like on her second dose, after her second dose, Mango started flashing in the main tank. So on her third dosage, I ended up moving her over back to the main tank and dosing the main tank. And I had to take all my plants out. After I moved them out, I decided to take them out of the mesh bags that they were in and kind of spread them out. I think it's nicer. The roots were really long and I did have to trim them, but they like nibbling on them. And they ended their Polyguard treatment on July 20th. And they've just been getting weekly water changes since then. But after the treatment, they were put together, like they were reunited. Coco really started picking on Mango. So for a while there, I thought she figured out snacks pop out of her booty. But they really calmed down. I haven't been squeezing Mango for a few weeks now, and they started getting along. I don't move them out of the tank anymore. Nitrates have been low thanks to the matrix, which is actually starting to pay off 6 months later. But instead of 20 to 30 weekly testing, it's down to 5 to less than 10. So that's nice. But I still do my big 75% water change, and that helped heal Mango's tail, because when she was getting picked on, it split right down the middle on both sides. But one side is completely healed, other side is almost all the way healed, so that's good. And she still does float nose down, and she sleeps like that, but that is just now her quirk. Indy here was starting to fin nip. His tail looked so much worse 2 weeks ago. It was awful. It's really starting to come in on the top and the bottom, healing. I had tried to dial it back on his water changes and went from 50% to 25%, and I don't know. He also had one of these plants on the left. I think the one all the way on the left over in his corner, and I had to switch them around. The sea shelter was here in the front. Now it's here on the side. We've got a taller plant right there. He likes to chill there. And he'll sleep in this tube. So I think the bigger water changes weekly and these changes in where he hangs out made a difference. He is still very vibrant, my indigo. And then my platies, I lost Bingo back in May. He was my original platy. He was like 2.5 years old. It was pretty sad. So now we just have Damon in the back, Tangerine in the front. They are due for a water change because this evaporation is in a week's time. But after Bingo passed, they really started picking on Snelly. So he is over in the quarantine tank, enjoying not being picked on and being able to eat when he pleases. So that is it for the update. We did miss Coco's Gotcha Day back on July 19th. She has officially been with us for a year. A little over a year because it's August. But she has tripled in size, and I hope Mango does too. Honestly though, I can't even tell if Mango is growing because Coco is just so big. My chunky girl. But that is it. Thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing. You guys stay safe.